Gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers, happy Tuesday, February 4th to all of you. Thank you for watching Sportsbook Review. This is Betting with the Bag. We have a packed show. 13 NHL games. Parlay Poppy will be joining us to break them all down. I've already logged in eight bets on this card, NHL card. Then we have 4 NBA games. We're coming off of a massive day. Teddy went 3-0 in NBA. I went 2-0 in NBA, 2-0 in NBA props, 4-0 altogether. Matt Randall cashed again. That's six straight taint play of the day winners for our Matt Randall. 6 straight. Maxwell Smart goes 8-2. 8-2 in college basketball plus 5.86 units. We were all eating last night, baby, and it feels really good. We have a giant NCAA basketball card that Teddy Covers will touch on and Max will break down in completion. I mean, we're probably not going to be able to get to every game like we did yesterday. God, I love those Mondays and Fridays when Max can touch on each and every one of those games. I just feel like when we sit with them together for a long time, we get winners. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. Nasty Nate in the house. Jason Fritz, Mo Sauce, Eric Nisbet, Mark Unkefer, Omar J. Legend, Kyle Copeland, Tommy Bolt. There's our guy, Tommy Bolt. Had to start off my 21st birthday with the low baggers. Let's get some beer money. Shout out to Tommy Bolt, 21 years old. All that hope in your eyes. Go out and have an incredible birthday. 21, Tommy Bolt. Everybody give love to our guy, Tommy Bolt, 21st birthday. Man, that was a long time ago. Slats 45, Wicked Flu Bug on Habs team. Price did not travel. Devils won 7 straight against the Habs. Bet last night plus 120. Hope his share plays. Also on Hawks plus 110. Oilers, Yotes over 5.5. Slats, I'm right with you. I'm right there with you on the Devils. I hate jumping on board on flu spots. They've been so bad for us in the past, but I did. I already took the Devils. I already locked in the Devils. I'm with you. There's Nilo in the house. Nilo joining us. Matt Randall, there he is. Matt Randall, six straight taint play of the day winners. You know what that deserves? Yes, you do. The Vegas Gun Award for capping excellence. Is it the first time Matt Randall has won this? No. No, it's not. But we have to award it. 6 straight taint play of the day winners in our pocket. Thank you, Matt Randall. Making our life better. That's what Matt does. Matt makes our lives better. We are thankful to have him in our lives. Matt Randall, 6 straight, going for 7 straight today, and I bet you he gets it. Matt Randall, our winner of the Vegas Gun Award for capping excellence. Shout out to Vegas Gun. You will be with us always. Silver Malco in the house. Mitch Bruner, David Chimilio, Matt Cratcha, Brooklyn Funk Project, D. Summers, Canascat, Jimmy Gomez, Ulysses Hayes, Mally Mal, Oops, Squad Cap, Barry Cockiner, A. Hilly, my guy Jimmy Gomez now, Steven Esposito, Peter Lucas, Jim Rome said douche, Dan Kelly, Viper NB, Buster Hyman, John Garcia, Intex. There's my guy Intex in the house. Congratulations on your Chiefs victory. You are a great man, a great capper. Can't wait to hammer the thoroughbreds with you for eternity. Intex. Ixnizzle in the house. Von Polo. Jason Turgi, AM Plus Money. D Money, Anna Merrick. George Wood, Levi Christensen. Joaquin Jordan, Randy C. in the house, Rye Cape, Paul Costa, Dave in Cal 48, Ron Fig, E. Dula, Dave Burke, Berkey, my guy, Serious Business, Backdoor Cover, Carlos Peroge, Tom Pierce, Ben Sports 24/7, Be Smooth. What a great, great group. Let's get to work, shall we? Let's introduce, helping us roll through this NHL card, the pride and joy of, man, I'm going to say all of Los Angeles. You know, we could pick a community, but he's the pride and joy of all of Los Angeles, California, and he's with us right now. Please welcome to the show, Parlay Poppy, on a Tuesday morning, going up on a Tuesday. Poppy, how you doing, my man?
That's right, turning up on a Tuesday. Not only the pride of Long Beach or LA, the pride of the fucking world, Jimmy. That's me. Let's get right to capping this huge slate, my man. How we doing?
We're doing great, man. I woke up bright and early. I destroyed this card after our spectacular day yesterday. I beat this card up, but we don't have a lot of time. I only have you for 29 minutes. We have to make the most of it. We got to move in very, 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 very quickly. There's Prince of the City, Ryan Kozlowski, B. Fox, FSU, Chatfield. Let's get right to work and start with my knuckleheads at Boston. Man, do I want to take the Bruins tonight, but look, the Canucks are playing too well, and the Bruins are big favorites, and I just can't pull the trigger. Let's pull up a couple things. First, we're going to pull up the best odds page in the planet, sportsbookreview.com SBR odds page. Let's put up my NHL record. I pushed with the Red Wings first period plus 150 last night. That's gonna be different tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to be up or down, although I like this card very, very much. And we've had, over the last 3 years working together, great success on giant cards. Let's talk Canucks, Bruins. Sorry, I'm on point spreads. Let's go to money lines and totals for this Canucks, Bruins spot. By the way, there's one play on the card that I like more than any. I mean, I just couldn't believe it when I could not believe. And we'll get to that because it's still available to almost every book. One book has switched the number. Okay, let's go to this Canucks Bruins spot. Poppy, Vancouver, Boston. Boston opening up at minus 185. They're now at minus 196. This total sitting at 6. And both teams have strong penalty kills because the Bruins have the best power play in the league. Canucks are third, but both teams' penalty kill is strong. Bruins at 84.2%, Canucks at 81.5%. We're going to see Markstrom in net for the Knuckleheads. I'm expecting Rask in net for the Bruins. Bruins have won both their games since returning to action, but that 6-1 beatdown of the Wild on the road on Saturday definitely caught people's attention. Bruins have the best home record in the league. Torrey Krug goes 2 goals, 2 assists in that game. And this power play that the Canucks have is all thanks to Quinn Hughes. And we finally have that quarterback of a power play that we've dreamt of all our life. Forget Lou May and Lidster. We had Paul Reinhart there for a hot minute. But, man, it is Quinn Hughes. He's the future of our hockey team. Canucks had a 5-game winning streak snapped. 4-3 shootout loss in Carolina on Sunday. Nothing wrong with that. They're playing good hockey. JT Miller rolling. NHL's third star of the week. I have no move on Canucks Bruins. Do you?
Well, interesting interconference game, right? We know that the Bruins team is now reignited all of a sudden on offense. But, man, what does that even say, Jimmy? I mean, OTBT, these Boston Bruins. And I know that Vancouver's a lot more susceptible on the road. But here's the thing, Jimmy. They're 14-1 is an underdog. And we have the Bruins, in my opinion, who are really not ranked so much higher than Vancouver is in recent form. This is really, really a crazy price. And honestly, I do find value at that plus 165. I'm getting really close to pulling a trigger here. I just don't want to have Demko on the road. Demko is extremely susceptible, and I don't think the Canucks really, really have a chance to actually win and cash this plus price if Demko's in net. I need Markstrom here. I want to make sure that he's in net. Before I go ahead and pull the trigger, Jimmy, I think I'm leaning heavy on these Canucks today.
Well, let me tell you, Markstrom will be in goal, right? That was Thatcher, Demko in goal against Carolina. So let me give you the green light to go ahead and back Markstrom.
I don't have that confirmed because I still see it's probable. And the Carolina game was what on Sunday, right?
Allow me to give you that confirmation. Confirm it. Lock it in.
All right, let's go.
What about this total at 6, Poppy? You want to go over it?
I think that the over's an absolute live. Look, the thing is Rask didn't miss a damn beat coming back. I faded him coming off the concussion, but he looked just absolutely amazing against those Jets. So I don't know so much if he's going to get lit. I just think that the Canucks absolutely do have a live chance to win this game. This price is really, really, really ridiculous. Minus 180 for Boston at home right now. Come on, man.
And
give me the Canucks.
Are you going to make the Canucks an official play?
Absolutely.
All right, we got Poppy on the board with the Vancouver Knuckleheads and Rod Zawacki, excellent capper himself on these Knuckleheads. And America, I've got to plan out Wednesday and Thursday. I'm going to try to get you on. It's just it probably works because there's a light NHL card. It probably works, and America, so I'll be in touch with you today. All right, let's move on to the next spot, and this is where I did pull the trigger. Okay, so I love psychological situations, social, emotional situations. in sports. And there are spectacular cappers who think that thought process is ludicrous and helps nobody. And it's only numbers. You play the numbers. And look, I'm not saying they're wrong, but I told you guys that Carter Hutton is the most beloved guy in the entire city of Buffalo. He's the most beloved guy in that dressing room. And he was on this huge slump. What was he doing through this huge slump? When Linus Ullmark took the job from him, he was with the goalie coach every single day. And when Ullmark went down, I told you, these guys are going to play for Hutton. And he's capable of getting hot for short periods of time. He's not an elite goaltender. Obviously. I'm on the Buffalo Sabres here at home. We saw Eichel talk about this isn't last year's Sabres team. We are together and we will start winning hockey games. We're not going to fold down the stretch like we did last year. 2-1 win over Columbus on Saturday. Avalanche come back from the All-Star game with a 6-3 loss Saturday in Philadelphia. Look, I think there's some issues with this Avalanche defense. Now, I love Cale Makar. Cale Makar tied the most points for a rookie defenseman in the Avalanche Quebec franchise record. Bruce Bell, for anyone who wants to know, in 84-85. I had to look that up. But I'm on the Sabres. I got plus 159. I think there's money line value on this Buffalo Sabres team, and I think Carter Hutton stays hot for a short period of time. That 159, you can beat it. There's a 160 at Bovada. Poppy, Avalanche Sabres.
Yeah, that's real adorable. Eichel saying this isn't the same Buffalo team. It's the same fucking team. What are you saying? That makes no sense. It's even worse. You guys start off hot, and you absolutely eat shit. I'm sorry, man. We're taking Colorado -1, -113. I know that they look pretty terrible on the road. There's absolutely no way I want to have anything to do with this Buffalo team. Carter Hutton, that's cool. Character guy. I get it. We got some defenseman problems now on Buffalo. Bukosian and Montour, still questionable. No way. Give me Colorado -1, -113, Jimmy.
I like this. Going heads up with Parlay Poppy. And I got the plus price. I got the plus price. Okay, let's move on to the next spot. This is one of my favorite looks on the card. It's also another play where I pull my balls up and I place them on the table for everyone to see. I am taking the Golden Knights first period against the Lightning. Lightning 3-game road sweep of California. They come back feeling good about themselves. This Golden Knights team has got their shit together right now. They're playing very good hockey. I don't know if any of you guys watched that Nashville game, but they beat the shit out of the Predators. They destroyed the Predators in that game. The Predators had absolutely no chance. The Predators would go 6 or 7 minutes without getting a shot on goal. The Golden Knights finished with a 77-42 advantage in shot attempts, 19-4 in high danger chances. This Vegas team is going to come out firing. Lightning 15-2-1 their last 18 games. Look, I don't have the balls to take the Golden Knights full game, but I do to take them first period plus 134. That's my look on this game. Fleury, Vasilevsky, I'm on the Knights first period. What's your move, Poppy?
Jimmy, we're doing the tag team tandem punch double gangbang on these Vegas Golden Knights because, Jimmy, you're going to win your first period, and I'm going to win Tampa Bay in regulation. This is going to be a spot that we are going to both cash on. I agree with that look on Vegas first period. Tampa Bay, very similar to Washington, who we'll talk about shortly, does tend to get behind in first period games, especially at home against poverty teams, which Vegas is definitely not, but we'll talk about the Kings, Washington in a second here. I think Vegas comes to that all business. The thing is, Tampa has absolutely annihilated the West, the Pacific this year. They're going to find a way to rally. They're going to find a way to get it done, and they're going to get it done in regulation, Jimmy the Bag. So we're going to go in Tampa Bay in regulation at -111.
Jin Rummy also on Vegas. Jin Rummy liking the line on Buffalo. I have struggled this year. I'm just barely 0.07 units up in NHL. Jin Rummy smashing it. He likes these spots as well. Love this spot. Love fading a team after sweeping the West. Now, it was a 4-game road trip. It started with a loss, right? A 3-2 overtime loss against Dallas. Then they sweep 3 California teams. Now they come home. Vegas first period. Rod Zwacky took Vegas first game, full game. Vegas full game says Vegas wins today. Okay, let's keep rolling along. We're making good pace, Poppy. Here's another spot, and it was talked about right off the very top from our very own Slats 45. I am backing the New Jersey Devils. Charlie Lindgren, is he going to get his first win here tonight? He has a chance to, sure. But Carey Price doesn't travel. There's a flu bug going through the dressing room. I don't want to say that word too often. It's not helped us in the past. But the Devils, Looked okay against Nashville on Thursday. They lose in overtime to Dallas on Saturday. They played well in that hockey game. They could have easily won that hockey game. 3-5-3 in their last 11. They're chomping at the bit to get a W here, and I think they get it. I got the Devils at plus 118 here, and if you want the Devils right now, the New Jersey Devils, you can't get 118. The best you can get is 114 at Heritage, and I think this number will continue to go down. I'm on the Devils tonight. You making a move on Habs Devils?
Oh, man, these Devils have absolutely dominated these Canadians, and I hope that's not the basis for why we're taking this. Because I think that, Montreal as a team, right, on the offensive metrics, expected goals fielded, the team Corsi, stuff that's, mildly relative to how teams are performing offensively is still pretty good, indicating that when they are healthy, these Canadians, they did get some of those forwards back, are an extremely potent team on the offensive end. They're a smaller team, they're agile, and I think it's a decent matchup with the Devils. I just don't trust the Devils' defense. Offense right now, Jimmy the Bag. They just don't have anything clicking, and that's tough for me to want to back, despite them being a road dog, home dog, despite them absolutely owning this matchup, 7-0, I believe, against these Canadians, Jimmy the Bag. So I understand the look. I don't trust the offense. If I had seen something different, if they were coming in and had some sort of momentum, I would be on them. I can't do it. I don't trust them. I don't trust them to score. So I'm a pass on here.
You know who will help a cold offense? Old Chuck Lindgren. Yeah, young Chucky Lindgren in net between the pipes for the Habs. 892 save percentage. Look, both these penalty killing units are weak enough. And I know the Devils' power play isn't hot right now. I think the Devils look good against Dallas. Dallas, good hockey team, although I'm fading them today. Okay, let's move on to that Dallas spot. I'm on the Islanders -1. Stars on the second half of the back-to-back. They beat the Rangers 5-3 last night in New York. Did they go out? I don't know if they went out. I just don't believe in the heart of this Stars team. And either did the brass. I mean, the brain trust brings in guys like Lil Joe Pavelski to make these guys more accountable. And then I faded Ben in the first game off of the break, like I always do, and he stepped up and scored 2 goals. I still don't trust him, and I don't trust him in New York City. They're looking for a perfect 3-game East Coast road trip. This Islanders team played okay, kind of sloppy in their first game since the All-Star break, that 4-3 overtime loss to the Knuckleheads. They did outshoot the Canucks 37-24. They haven't been playing well for an extended period of time. I think they get... Also, it's in the Barclays Center. And remember how high our ROI was the last 2 years, fading Western Conference teams in the Barclays Center. I'm on the Islanders -1 at plus 141. That's a -120. I got it Bet365 and a plus 210 from 5 dimes. Poppy, Stars, Islanders.
So, I'm sorry, Jimmy, you cut out there. You said you got the Islanders -1?
Yes.
That's your play?
Yes.
It's interesting because these teams are very similar, right? When the goaltending is not absolutely stalwart in the back, they are two very, very average teams. And they're actually very similar in size, you know what I mean? So this is a very interesting interconference matchup. I just think that this is not a spot that I want to be messing around with these Islanders who have extreme third period problems. And we've gone on this before, Jimmy, talking about third periods and how important they are in the hockey games and how you should be capping and thinking about these things. There is a big disparity between goals allowed by these Islanders and goals scored by these Islanders in the third period. They have 3 times as many goals allowed in that third period. These Stars are 11-4 and 2 as a dog. If anything, I would be on the Stars here. I absolutely do not want anything to do with these Islanders. This is a big pass for me, Jimmy.
This is one of my favorite looks on the card. I'd say there's 2 others that I like a little bit better, but I love fading the Stars after a game in MSG, and I think the Islanders will get right in the last 28 games of the season, and Trotzy will have them sharp here as they've only played 1 game, in the last 12 or 13 games. So I'm on the Islanders -1. Poppy staying off this look. I took the Capitals -1.5 at plus 111 against the Kings. Yes, Holtby is likely to be in net tonight. I don't care. I don't care who's in net. The Capitals are upset about that afternoon game in Pittsburgh. This Kings team is flying in. I know they played Saturday night, but now they're flying in from California. They also don't have Drew Doughty in the lineup. They're a bad hockey team. They're going to be selling players. They're sellers at the deadline. I think the Capitals come in and smash. I got -1.5. I took 2 -1.5s on today's schedule with home ice favorites, and I'm not scared. That +111 is still available at Pinnacle. I don't care that Holtby's in goal. I'm on the Capitals -1.5. Poppy, Kings, Capitals.
Well, first off, I think they do to get Drew Doughty back today, which is a big boost, I guess, for the morale of these Kings. Jimmy, is this a trap game? Kings losing 6 of the last 7. Top 5 worst power play and power play kill in the league. How do we not take the Capitals here, right? Like we talked about, this team does get behind in the first quarter at homes against sub-500 teams. The thing is, they are 8-2 against these poverty sub-500 teams. 8-2 winning those games and trending largely to the over. Now, if if Holtby's in the net, I'm absolutely taking this over because from what I've seen, I do watch these Kings sometimes just to get a good chuckle, Jimmy, just to laugh at my hometown squad. And they actually do play pretty fast, and they are getting a lot more shots off. They're not playing that super, grindy, San Jose Sharks, old school Anaheim Ducks style hockey anymore. They're actually trying to get some shots off, and I think that Holtby's always susceptible. I want him in net tonight. I want to take this over at 6, Jimmy. And I also think the Kings are very live in this first period. I'm not taking Washington. I understand the look. I think they should cover the puck line here. I like the over better than that look, Jimmy the Bag. Washington over 6. If Holtby's in the net, we will wait to tweet that out.
Yeah, and the word out of Washington is that they expect him to be in that. Taint play of the day is in. Also, Steve Priest, and we'll go over the taint play of the day often, but we're going to try to get through this NHL in the allotted period of time. And Steve Priest says Samsonov injured in practice, so it's going to be for sure Holtby between the pipes. And Steve Priest saying not only is Quick confirmed, but Doughty on the ice for the Kings at practice. Very comfortable here with Doughty coming back or not being there. Look, the Capitals are angry. Ovechkin held off the score sheet against the Penguins. I'm very comfortable here, and I'm going to pay the price.
Jimmy, what do you think of this team total over at 3.5 -120, I believe, for the Capitals? That's probably the smallest juice that I've seen so far on a Capitals game in quite some time.
You're absolutely right. That does correlate perfectly. You know what? That's not that. Why do you think that is fishy? That there's not a lot of juice on the over 3.5 for the Caps?
Well, look at the total itself at the price that it's at. We're not expecting, from the odds maker's perspective, there to be so much action, right? So it doesn't necessarily look like it's predatory because it correlates with the price as at the 6 overall, 3.5.
It does. I think that might be an addition on my card. I really think that might be an addition on my card right now. Team total over. I'm on the -1.5, but that team total over is appealing. There's DJ Big Boss in the house. We got Dale Robinson ready to get to work. All right, let's keep rolling along here. Panthers, Blue Jackets. When I saw a 6.5, my eyes shot out of my skull. I can't believe there's no way this is a 6.5 at puck drop. There's no chance. Montembeault, the Jackets don't score, and they're playing such good hockey right now. And that game, those of you who were on the under in that Leafs-Panthers game, you got unlucky that the Leafs fell apart after their injured goaltender. I'm all over. This is my favorite look by far on the board. Panthers, Jackets under 6.5. I could not believe what I was seeing. The Blue Jackets have allowed 11 goals over their last 8 games, and this Panthers team on the second half of a back-to-back without Barkov. Oh my God! I couldn't believe it. Under 6.5, my favorite look on the card. Florida, Columbus. Poppy, you making a move here?
That's interesting. I was searching some stuff last night. I didn't see that 6.5. Good job. I would absolutely have been on that as well. I'm gonna pass, but 6.5, man. That's a perfect spot, and I completely agree with your sentiment on this game. Columbus and Florida as a whole have been our most profitable bets in January, right? But I said last week we did not want to take these Jackets after All-Star break. That was the worst time to get on that team, right? Or for that break. They were coming in just hot. Merzlikins and even that other guy from the AHL was doing some stuff. I just don't think there's any way that I can accurately measure how I want to grade these Columbus Blue Jackets moving forward until I see a few more games. And that's also similar with the Panthers, who are an absolute heater. So I like that 6.5 a lot. Both these teams, I'm on speculation mode, Jimmy, for the future. So let's get on the next game here.
Let's do that next game. That'd be Ducks Senators. I've been watching the Senators closely. I do not think they're an over team anymore. I was lucky to hit that Sabres Senators over. Last time I bet it, there was 2 empty net goals in the last minute and a half to get me there. It was 2-2 with 10 minutes left. I was fortunate. It was a 6. It wasn't a 6.5. I think the Senators are now an under trending team. I know these Ducks are not the under team that they were before, but I feel like there will be an under in this game. Ducks Senators. I'm on the under 6 at -110. Ducks 29th in the NHL, 2.5 goals per game. Don't have a player in the top 50 in goals scored. Don't have a player with more than 35 points. Anthony Duclair, the best sniper on the Senators, hasn't scored since December 21st. The Ducks have won 4 of 6. They're playing good hockey, and the Senators are understanding how to keep the puck out of their net. With all that said and done, I'm on the under 6. Anaheim, Ottawa. Take it away, Poppy. You making a move here?
Man, the Ducks allow such a ridiculous amount of poor shots from the opposition in the first period, but they seem to adjust. Ottawa at home, that's the only time you want to back them. I don't know if I agree with that under at all. I actually am leaning heavily towards a first period over here, Jimmy. I want to check a couple of things out here to see if Miller or Gibson's a net. I actually want Gibson to be a net if I am doing the first period over, because he does not look very sharp. I'm going to take a little bit of time, but I do lean a first period over here.
I got the under 6 in this game, and I really like the spot. Now we get to some spots. We had a nice little run of games that I do have action on. Now let's get to a run of games where I don't have action on. We're going to start with Carolina St. Louis, and this game makes me uncomfortable. St. Louis coming off a very tough Canadian Northwest run after the break and did not look good. And this is a veteran-laden team that can step it up. Now you're getting a really nice price to back the Blues at home to change things around, which I think they can do, but I'm still hesitant to pull the trigger. They're 1-4-1 over their last 6. That out of the All-Star break, they lose at Vancouver, a shootout win at Calgary, and then lose at Edmonton and Winnipeg. Binnington looks susceptible all of a sudden, 4 more goals in 5 of his last 9 starts. They are 9-0-1 over their last 10 at home. Do I think they could turn it around? I do. I think they could turn it around immediately. But Carolina's allowed 2 or fewer goals 6 times over their past 10 games. They're playing good hockey. I've stayed off this spot. Hurricanes, Blues. Did you make a move?
Man, 3-1 since the return of Mr. Captain Justin Williams for these Carolina Hurricanes. Actually, I'm on the opposite end of the betting philosophy here, Jimmy. I think that this is probably one of the biggest underdog prices I've seen for the Hurricanes almost this year. I think that's the side that has absolute value right now. The thing is, I don't want to get in the way of a Blues team losing 4 of 5, Jimmy, 9-1 in their last 10 home games, who absolutely are dominating the West, who do look lethal at all times despite being susceptible in the back of the net and on the blue line. The price is just really appealing for Carolina. I agree. I am having trouble putting my buck here, so I'm going to pass on this game. Lean Carolina, though.
And I'm not making a move on the next game. Blackhawks, Minnesota Wild. The Wild were just completely embarrassed. They're 4-6-1 over their last 11, but they lose 6-1 to Boston on Saturday night, and they return from the All-Star break. Gabby is going to be in their face screaming expletives right in their face. I expect them to play well, but the Blackhawks are rolling right now and feeling good about themselves. They're 13-6 over their past 19, coming off 3-2 shootout win Saturday night in Phoenix. So I'm just off of this Blackhawks Minnesota Wild game. If you are interested in Minnesota, you can get them at open up at -130. They're now -129. I definitely do not want them at that price, but I do expect them to step up. I'm off this spot. Are you making a move?
Man, it's tricky. I'm leaning towards the over. Minnesota allowing the most converted high danger scoring chances in the NHL, and over 7 of the last 10 against Minnesota at home. These Blackhawks going on the road. Man, Blackhawks winning 8 of their last 9 road games. Jimmy, the price is appealing. I agree with the sentiment that Minnesota is going to be absolutely locking down. They're not a fade team by any means, and I think that at home we do know they play especially well, right? I can't get to the window with this. I'm really leaning the Chicago side, more so the over. Lehner on the road, 92 save percent average. That Robin Lehner. So leaning Chicago as a dog, but can't get to the window with this one, Jimmy.
And I'm also not getting in the window. I'm going to move over. I'm on the 5 dimes opener. I'm going to move over to Pinnacle opener right now. All right, let's keep rolling along. We're almost done this card. We only have 4 minutes left, but we're almost done. Next up, Predators, Jets. I do not know what to make of these two teams. Brian Watson in the house already giving out the over 225 in the Nuggets game. I will copy and paste that. I do not know what to make of these two teams, Nashville and Winnipeg. Nashville opening up at minus 116, now on the road favorite, now minus 124. I don't want that. I think Winnipeg are better than they've looked over the last month. They looked really bad there moving into the All-Star break, and we talked about that situation. I don't know what to make about this spot, and I'm off of Nashville, Winnipeg, this total at 6.5. Are you making a move here, Poppy?
We talked about this game before in the Predators. Offensively, they are doing just fine. Defensive problems are the big issue. And, despite scoring 18 goals in their last 8 games, these Predators, they just have nothing. I don't know. I don't know what to do with these teams. You're 100% correct. The Jets have befuddled me this whole entire season. And good luck if you really think you got an angle here. These are two struggling teams who look like one of them is going to miss the playoffs 100%. The Jets most likely more. They have one of the toughest strengths of schedule remaining. I don't know what to do here. Total layoff for me.
We got our guy Damian McCorston in the house capping with us. Rod Zawacki on that first period, over 1.5 in Chicago Wild. And then we get to the Flames game after that very heated Saturday night Battle of Alberta, losing 8-3 on home ice. They come out firing. I expect them to come out firing. I expect them to win this game against the Sharks. I expect the Sharks to limp towards the finish line this year. Now they've lost Hurdle. They also lost Joel Kelman, who'd come in because of all the injuries. So no Hurdle, no Kelman, and no Couture, although Couture will be back soon. They've lost 2 straight, 5 of their last 6. They're going to go out on the road, and they're going to lose. I'm on the Flames, minus 1.5, plus 145. Are you making a move on Sharks, Flames?
No, I'm not. I think that the Flames definitely do come out. That interim coach stating how uncomfortable and absolutely upset this entire team is. I expect them to take advantage of this dismantled San Jose team. The thing here, Jimmy, I like this prop. Evander Kane, right? Who do we have that's going to be an offensive presence that is one of these goal scorers, one of these shooters on the Sharks? It's only Evander Kane, right? The prop here is absolutely live. I couldn't find it, but at a plus price, this Evander Kane, 12 goals, 16 assists against his mark on the Flames. I think that's a live look, because who else do you got there that's going to be putting anything up? I think Evander Kane is a prop, is a live look. I'm laying off this game, however.
Flames and Capitals are my 2 home teams at minus 1.5 that I'm taking to smash, and I think the Flames do exactly that here. Next up, Oilers, Coyotes. The Coyotes are free-falling, and we saw Anna Merrick's comment in the chat. He's nervous about this game. He's every right to be nervous about this game. I am nervous about this game, too. I've got futures on Arizona that look like they're going up in smoke right now. They've lost back-to-back overtime games. I know they're 1-5-3 in their past 9, but they're 4-0-3 in their past 7 home games. The Oilers coming off that 8-3 win in Calgary on Saturday night. They're 7-1-1 over their last 9. Draisaitl, the first Oiler to reach 80 points in 52 games or fewer since Messier in 89-90. The Oilers are rolling, but the Coyotes are angry, and I'm staying off of this game. Oilers, Coyotes. Let's see what the market is telling us on the SBR odds page. Also, if you like the content you're seeing, please like, subscribe, and hit the link at the bottom of the page, www.sbrvideo.com/thebag. It goes to our best sportsbooks page. Please do that for me. That would be wonderful. This total opened up at 6. It's now down to 5.5. And if you want the Coyotes, they opened up at minus 117. They're now minus 124. Edmonton, Arizona. Poppy, you making a move here?
I am. I think that the Oilers as an underdog is a winning proposition, especially against this Arizona team who has a complete identity crisis issue. They are running up and down the ice, basically since the Taylor Hall acquisition. And with Kemper out and you have the tandem duo, Hill and Ranta, that's a fucking disaster. They don't play this way, and they look awful. Taylor Hall is saying, we don't have the confidence we had 20 games ago. It's like, dude, you weren't even on the team 20 games ago. That inspires zero confidence for me. Give me the Oilers here. Give me the Oilers as a road dog. Give me the over 5.5, Jimmy. We got 2 looks on here. Oilers going to take it to these damn Coyotes. Also looking at the team total over on the Oilers. I can't see what that's at right now, but that's a look. I'm doing it officially, though. Oilers over 5.5 total for the game, Jimmy.
I get those looks. Ranta coming off a 40-plus save performance. I do expect him to heat up. And these Coyotes haven't lost in regulation in their last 7 home games, even though their past 9-game record is ugly. I'm going to go to this team total very quickly here. To make one final addition here on my card. And the team total over 3.5. Maybe I won't. I'm not going to. It's minus 135, the 3.5.
Oh, man, that's 20 cents. Yeah, missed. Missed on it.
I like where I stand. I like my card. 8 bets I've made on this NHL card. 13-game NHL card that we've hammered. AM coming in with his barbecue sauce titty play of the day. I'm going to copy and paste that right now. Poppy, my man, follow him on Twitter at Poppy_parlay. Could you please review your NHL action on this giant NHL card?
Yes, Jimmy, we're coming in with that heat on the turnip. Tuesday, we're going to go to these Colorado Avalanche -1. We're going to take the Lightning in regulation. We're going to take the Oilers. We're going to take the Oilers over 5.5, and we're going to take that Capitals game over the 6, Jimmy the Bag. You can always find me at Poppy_parlay. We got some heat today. Jimmy's got some heat today. And oh, yeah, I can't forget those Canucks at plus 165. Give me the buck. Give me the plus prices. I'm going to go figure my life out real quick and make sure that I probably do go against you again, Jimmy, with this over 1.5 in the Senators game. Just got to double check something. But you guys can always find me at Poppy Parlay once again on the Twitter. See you guys later. We'll tweet those plays out in just a minute. Bye-bye.
There he is, Parlay Poppy, and I'm on Sabres plus 159, Golden Knights first period plus 134, Devils plus 118 on the money line, Islanders -1 at plus 141, Capitals -1.5 at plus 111. Under 6.5 in Florida, Columbus at -110. That's my favorite play on the card. Under 6 at -110 in Anaheim, Ottawa. And then I have one final look on this card. That's Flames -1.5 plus 145. So all my money line or puck line or -1 plays, they're all at plus prices. And then I have those 2 unders, no overs on this card. There you have it. That is a giant NHL card. Thank you, Poppy, for your help with that. We go right from Parlay Poppy to Teddy Covers, coming to us live from Las Vegas, Nevada, fresh off a 3-0 day on the show. We were eating last night. Teddy, how you doing on this Tuesday morning?
It wasn't just me, man. Everyone nailed it yesterday on the show. Good job, low baggers. Leche, baby. It was a good night last night. However, last night was last night. All right, it's all rear view mirror. None of that carries forward. We're 0-0 today, so let's see what we can do.
And there was 13 games on the NHL card. I did cap these NBA games, but my focus was on NHL, and we have actually hit our high watermark of the season. 4-0 day yesterday with the 2 props on Collins and Embiid. Can you pop up the NHL record? We have hit our high watermark, plus 11.12 units right now. The NBA record, please, Rafa. Thank you. There we go. Plus 11.12 units, high watermark. Let's keep it rolling, and let's get after it. We're going to start, Teddy, with Bucks Pelicans. I'm going to move over from the best odds page on the planet from NHL to NBA, go to spreads and totals, and let's talk about this spot, Zion versus Antetokounmpo. New Orleans, Milwaukee, total opened up at 245, Teddy. It's now at 246. This Bucks road favorite opening up at -6. They're still there at Bookmaker. They're 6.5 at some other books and 7 at Bovada. Bucks pace last 5 first in the NBA. Pelicans pace last 5 fifth in the NBA. 106.7 possessions a game for the Bucks. 104.2 possessions for the Pelicans. Milwaukee bounced back from that loss, and that's what they've been doing all year. They lose a game and they tear off a big winning streak, and that's what they did with a 129-108 victory over the Suns that closed up a 3-game homestand on Sunday. And Antetokounmpo goes for 30-19 in 9 and 31 minutes. Brook Lopez 9 blocks. Pelicans are 3-3 with Zion in the lineup. They lost 117-109 on Sunday. 10 turnovers in the first quarter. Williams became the the third NBA player since 2012 to have two 20-point, 10-rebound games in their first 6 NBA games, joining Ayton and AD. But Williamson wasn't scoring late and wasn't getting the ball late. And Alvin Gentry said that's his fault. Expect him to get the ball late in crucial spots. Bucks, Pelicans. Teddy, did you make a move on this?
So I didn't make a move. I'm tempted by the over. All right. You talked about the pace for these two teams with Milwaukee number 1, New Orleans number 5. We would expect an up-tempo contest. And the Bucks aren't afraid to run with anybody. And New Orleans doesn't play a whole lot of defense. And New Orleans can put points up in bunches right now, you know. So I don't know if it's psychological for me. Maybe it is. I don't recall betting a whole lot of NBA games over 245.5, 246. You know, it just like that number. Once we get in the 240s, I think psychologically I have a hard time betting overs in those games. But God, if I was going to do it, this would probably be the game I would do it because New Orleans can and will run with Milwaukee, and Milwaukee will can and run with New Orleans. And from a point spread perspective, this is not an easy game for me, at least. The Pelicans have been bet on all the way. They were bet on all the way for a good month before Zion came back. Took a couple of games for Zion to get acclimated where they were bet against. And now they're bet on all the way. And again, I had them on against the Rockets. And they didn't, whatever, they covered. Despite the fact that they had all of those turnovers, they were right in the game in the final minute. The final minute didn't go our way, and that was that. You know, we didn't cash a ticket there. But it wasn't like New Orleans got blown off the floor, couldn't handle, couldn't hang. You know, this Pelicans team is a team that we can make money with. I don't know if this is the matchup I want to make money with them in, though. I'll tell you what, Milwaukee, I went back and looked. I have not stepped in front of Milwaukee at all this year. I didn't step in front of Milwaukee, I think, from January 1st last year. They're just one of these teams. If I'm playing the game, I'm on the Bucks. I'm not against them because they are that good. At least in the regular season, they're that good. And I have no interest in stepping in front of the Bucks. So side-wise, two teams I want to be on, not against. Total-wise, definite lean here towards the over. But psychologically, for me, the games where the loser can score 120 and still not get over the total, I just haven't been pulling the trigger on them. And maybe you guys can help me get over that hump because this one sure feels like an over matchup.
I get your fear. Alvin Smith says never bet NBA game over 245, 246. That's just crazy. Manny Williams says, do you think Zion under 20.5 is a good bet? I'm not going to take any Zion unders. There's no other place in the world I would rather be than the Smoothie King Center tonight. This place is going to be electric. I mean, it's just going to be unbelievable. I don't know what to do with this game. I would like to take the Pelicans. I would like to take the Pelicans early. But I don't want to ever get in the way of the Bucks, and this total scares the shit out of me. Steve Bree saying Bucks won by 15 in the first meeting without Zion. They got up to 239, the two teams combined. Mally Mal says this is not going over. Lotus Scalper says betting over 245 regular season is crazy. AJS says Pels win. Ulysses Hayes says Pelicans getting smacked tonight. So, well, you know, Yogi Buddha, Yog Buddha, my guy liking the under. Prince of the City liking the Bucks. This is not how I start my card after a 4-0 day. And maybe after some rumination, we come back and hammer it. Let's move over to Hornets Rockets. And you want another team that just throws me for a loop, Teddy? It's these Rockets. So 2 games ago against Dallas, they didn't play anyone taller than 6'6". That hasn't happened in the NBA since 1963. Capella is now on the trade block. I mean, it almost feels like these Rockets are saying, we're confused too, you know. Hornets have lost 3 straight, 11-12. They're on the second half of a back-to-back. Great call with the Magic last night. And thank you to the chat for getting me off the under at 202. That was the chat, and that was especially Viper NB. Viper said, you know, this is just too low, and right away, because there was only 49 points scored in the first quarter, but in that second quarter it was going over, and I was like, oh, thank you, Viper, thank you, chat. Charlotte had a +9 rebounding margin against the Magic. What are they going to do against the Rockets? So the Rockets against the Pelicans in their last game, their last loss, the Pelicans had a +20 advantage on the boards. This idea of the Hornets going so small is just throwing me for a loop. They're 13.5-point favorites, 14. This total's come from 224.5 to 223.5. Can you make some sense of what the Rockets are doing? Is there a move to make here, Teddy?
No. I mean, flat out, there's no move that I'm making on this game personally. I have the Hornets 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 tries following a double-digit loss at home. So they have been fairly good at bouncing back off a bad defeat. But we're ranking the bottom teams in the NBA. Right now, there's 2 at the top of my list, or at the bottom of my list. It's either Cleveland or Charlotte. These are the worst 2 teams in the NBA. And when you're talking about the bottom feeders, I'm not looking for reasons to get involved with backing the worst teams in the NBA. And Charlotte is that. I mean, make no mistake about it. This team will be drafted first or second or third or whatever it is. They're not any good. All right. And they can shoot. The backcourt explodes every once in a while. But, I mean, this is their front court's a sieve, There's no one that Charlotte has on the roster that's a low post defender or a low post scorer or a quality rebounder. All right. And every guy they have on the roster that stands $6 to 6'10" or taller is only there because they stand 6'10" or taller, not because they're legit NBA studs. Charlotte's bad. All right. They're a bad team coming off a bad loss. Not a team I'm excited about putting my money on, despite and maybe they hang around in this game. Maybe their guards get hot and they put up a bunch of shots in the fourth. That's the way Charlotte's covering. Is they hang around and then their guards get hot late and they put in some points down the stretch, and that's how they cover. It's really hard for me to get in this point spread range with a Rockets team. They're minus 20 in boards last time, minus 19 in boards the game before that against Dallas, minus 11 in boards the game before that against Portland, minus 16 against Minnesota. They're getting crushed on the glass. All right. And when you're giving your opponents that many extra possessions every game. Now, against New Orleans, they were able to take it. They were able to overcome that because, and really only because, the Pelicans played a sloppy game. You talked about those 21 turnovers for 10 of them in the first quarter, and most of them were unforced errors, and they ended up being the difference in the ball game when all was said and done. But it's not a Houston team that I'm excited about laying a price with. And I mean, I guess they have 1 win in their last dozen games by this margin. They're not winning. They're not winning games by this margin right now. So easy pass for me. I don't want the favorite. I don't want the dog. I don't have a strong sense of the total. I'll pass.
2 angles I can see here, Teddy, and let's just talk about them. I expect, and we shouldn't expect them, but I expect Austin Rivers to be back in the lineup after missing practice on Monday due to an illness. But there's no Westbrook. So when there's no Westbrook, Harden goes off. So if Harden's going to be focused on going off, Harden, Eric Gordon be putting up a ton of points. Without Westbrook, do the Hornets become more appealing?
Not much. I mean, if you take Westbrook off of Houston's roster like he is tonight, are the Hornets any more competitive? Maybe you want some Eric Gordon props over. You talk about Harden on the nights where Westbrook isn't playing. Gordon's another guy who doesn't get the hype of Harden and doesn't have the ridiculously high numbers as Harden, who you may want to get involved with in terms of player props because he's going to get a lot more opportunities tonight. But no Westbrook, no Capella. It doesn't make me excited about backing the worst team in the NBA or one of the 2 worst teams in the NBA in a game where they're outclassed. I mean, everything Charlotte's doing right now is, let's see if we can hang around. Let's go through the motions. Maybe we can stick around. It's not, hey, we're going to go on a 5-game winning streak and become competitive. It's, this is not a time of the year. And, of course, these 2 days, worth noting, the next couple of days, with the trade deadline is Thursday. Teams that have guys on the trading block, you're going to see a lot of late scratches in the NBA. You're going to hear a lot of trade buzz, and you're going to hear even a team like Houston can get distracted by this stuff. So I guess if I had to play the game, I'd play Charlotte plus before I played Houston minus. But as you mentioned, Capella maybe on the trade block for the Rockets. So although again, once you hear about the deals, they don't usually happen. So we'll see. But it's not. I mean, I'm not close to getting involved here. Again, no Westbrook. That's fine. All right, no Westbrook. It doesn't make Charlotte any better because Westbrook's not in the lineup, does it?
I think it does a bit, but you're right, not very much. Not very much. And Harden player prop is at 38.5, Teddy. Is that, I don't remember ever seeing that in my life. Gordon at 19.5. That is appealing. Also, Graham and Rozier. Graham at 17.5 and Rozier at 19.5. If this is all smalls, it just feels like this is going to be just a guard game. A game full of just guards going after each other one at a time. What do you think about, I guess, the hesitance of backing any Hornet guard props is that Graham and Rozier on the second half of a back-to-back? Do you feel, I know that you don't hammer the props market as much as we do here, but do you think that that backing a point guard on the second half of a back-to-back is dangerous?
Yeah, a little bit. But it's not anything that I'm trying to remember the minutes last night for Charlotte. I believe their minutes were reasonable last night. Let me just double check that, because sometimes I look at it once and it doesn't click the way that I hope to. But the minutes last night for Charlotte, real quick. You had Graham play 36, Rozier play 35, Bridges play 30, almost just shy of 35. So I worry a lot when you're talking about the back-to-backs and teams in the mid to upper 30s and guys that haven't played a ton of NBA. They're playing mid to upper 30s and supposed to go back the next night. I'm not excited. I'm not excited about this game. Jimmy, you're trying to get opinions out of me. I'm doing my best, but it's not anything that I'm like, yes, I definitely want these guards in the second of back-to-backs, or yes, I definitely don't. I could see an up-tempo game here. Both teams playing small ball. Both teams get all their offense from the little guys. I wouldn't be surprised to see a little pace tonight. But if you've been looking at Charlotte and trying to get them over 224, you haven't been, good luck with that. They've been fewer. They did it against the Wizards, who went up tempo. But that's the only one in the last couple of weeks where they've, approached or exceeded this number. They're not a good offensive team, even against an opponent that doesn't bring a low post presence.
I like it. I'm going to make a move on Eric Gordon over 19.5 points at -120. His 3-pointers made is 3.5 at +130 to the over, -170 to the under. I'm just going to stick with the over 19.5 points. Okay, let's move on to Blazers, Nuggets, Portland, Denver. Denver opening up at -4.5. There is now a 4 at Heritage. That's an opener at Pinnacle. So there has been a 4-cent move towards Portland at Pinnacle. This total opened up at 222. It shot all the way up to 225.5. Blazers pace last 5, 10th in the NBA, 102.20. Nuggets pace last 5, 22nd in the NBA, 98.94. Portland's won 4 straight. Teddy, you said that this was very possible when you were talking about what Lillard was saying to reporters. You said this to us, a week and a half ago. He's on a stretch that I don't think I've ever seen before. 48.8 points and 10.2 assists over his last 6 games. 3 of those games, he's gone over 50. He's absolutely rolling. He scored at least 47 points in 5 of those 6 games. The only one he didn't, he went for a 36, 11, and 10 triple-double. Nuggets are beat up. They're beat up. They got Gary Harris back, but Jamal Murray, Millsap, Plumlee all missed multiple games. Michael Porter Jr. now hurt. Sure, they're getting, contributions from Beasley, Dozier, and Hernan Gomez, but this is a team that I don't want to back. Does Portland keep rolling, Teddy?
So it's a one-way game right now, and I appreciate the credit you gave me for what we talked about the Blazers last week. If you're not betting on the Blazers, don't play the game. And I'm not playing the game because I'm not stepping in front of Denver off a loss. Denver off a loss, 8-0 their last 8 tries. They've been money for the year. 3 point spread losses off a defeat for the Nuggets. And again, this is a team that has 16 losses. So this will count 15 of them. And if you got the best of the number, you went to something like 11-3-1 ATS back in Denver following those 15 previous defeats. So I will not, and especially the kind of loss where they get out to a big lead against the Pistons early and then just fall asleep the rest of the game. That situation for this opponent, for Denver, especially and the key, of course, is that Gary Harris is back in the lineup. Because there's one guy that can stop Lillard, one guy who maybe can contain Lillard on this, ridiculous run. The thing that amazed me, Damian Lillard had never won Western Conference Player of the Week until this last week in his entire career, which is, I mean, it's kind of a stupid little award. But that one's like, how did Lillard at no point in his career did he ever win this before? Harris is, Coach Malone is a prideful guy. Denver's a prideful team, and I don't look for Lillard's success that he's had over the last couple of weeks to continue here. And Portland's a one-way team for me right now. I want to be on the Blazers, or I don't want to be involved in the game. This is the game I don't want to be involved with because this Nuggets run awful loss. And the fact they have Harris back, who, you know, when you talk about perimeter defenders and guys who, you know, have the chance to contain the hottest player in the NBA, Denver has that chance tonight. So it's not a game I'm going to play. It's Blazers or pass. But given Denver's 8-0 run, and they've covered, again, the last 8 losses, they bounce back with a win every time and a win by margin, I think in all of those games. And then for the season, they've been real good in this role. So it's strong enough that I don't play Portland tonight.
And our guy Piker saying Nuggets 3-19 against the spread last 22 first quarters. Play that if you need to play something here, says Poker Addicted 79 AK Piker. And the prop at Bet365 for Lillard, 32.5 points, minus 145 to the over, plus 105 to the under. That 20 cent each way. That just gets me right in the prison pocket. Let's move on to Spurs Lakers right now. Lakers open up at minus 12. They're at 12 across the board, but 11.5 at Pinnacle. This total opened up at 229. It's now at 226.5. You know, every game in Staples Center still is heavy. It's still heavy after, you know, it just seems like there's still this heaviness when we talk about Kobe. Lakers have the back-to-back, and they lose against the Blazers. That was on Friday. I was on the Blazers plus 12.5 or 13, depending on. I was 13 on the show, but 12.5 when I bet it. And then the Lakers come back and smash the Kings. Lakers put up 81 points in the first half. It reminds everybody of the 81 that Kobe put up in that Raptors game. I watched that entire game that night. AD has 21 points in the second half of a back-to-back. LeBron triple doubles, 15, 10, and 11. LeBron says, you know, put the team on my back. I will carry them. He's saying, making these comments to the press right now. Spurs come in, hit that under last night, 108, 105. They lose to the Clippers. Hit that under, felt very, very good about it. Aldridge goes for 27, DeRozan for 26. And this is the final regular season meeting between the two teams. Lakers have won the first two, 103-96 on the road and 111-104, or 114-104 on the road. Teddy, are you making a move here, Spurs, Lakers?
Yes! Finally. Last game on the card, and I'm in action, and I put San Antonio plus 12 in my pocket on the second of back-to-backs. Let's start with this. I'm well aware that the Lakers got off the schneid after, you know, the heavy heart game and blowing out Sacramento, but Sacramento's not San Antonio. You look at the Spurs off a loss. They lost last night in LA. They've been good. You look at the Spurs in the second night of back-to-backs. They've been good. You look at the Spurs catching points. And look at them, plus 7.5 or higher this year. They're perfect. 100% perfect, San Antonio. They're not getting blown out. The two previous games against the Lakers, they lost them both. They lost them both by 10 or less. Minutes last night for the Spurs, very reasonable. Nobody played extensive minutes. They will be relatively fresh. Pop went deep into his bench in the loss to the Clips. And it's a Lakers team. And again, it's hard for me to trust LA laying this price at the Staples. And on the highway, maybe. On the Staples, there's reminders everywhere. The Lakers should win the game. I wouldn't be surprised if San Antonio gives them a battle. And frankly, I haven't bet it yet, but I'm probably going to put a little money line in my pocket before tip-off on this one. I think the Spurs are live. And I continue to worry about the Lakers' mentality right now. And given the track record for San Antonio, second night of back-to-backs in this point spread range, et cetera, track record against the Lakers, there's enough reason for me to get to the window with the Spurs here. And again, I don't think they're going to win, but the money line numbers right now, what I was looking at before, were fairly attractive. I'm looking at in the plus 600 range, and I would expect to have at least. I'm not going to load up on it. I'm going to put a taste of that in my pocket.
Yeah, this is very appealing. Poker Addicted 79 says Spurs first half money line plus 350 is worth a sprinkle versus a Laker team that sleepwalks first half often. Lotus Scalper, Spurs plus 12 is my lean. Mally Mal, Spurs first half, Lakers full game. Carlos Luders liking Lakers first quarter. But Poker Addicted says take the points before the fatigue factor is even in play. Spurs first half is the play. God, that makes me want to make a move here. And even double up here first half full game. And that first half plus 7 looks so appealing. And I'm going to make a move. I'm going to double up here. Spurs first half plus 7. I'm getting plus 7 at minus 110. Spurs first half plus 7 at minus 110. While I'm locking in these, Teddy, did you make any moves in college basketball today?
I made 2 moves in college hoops today, one of which I think is a little stronger than the other. Michigan, I like Michigan minus 2.5 against Ohio State. The Wolverines got Levers back, and that makes a big difference. Their second leading scorer, he hits 50% from the floor. We saw them play well at Rutgers, or in the Garden against Rutgers over the weekend, and that to me was the buy sign I've been waiting for the Wolverines. I've yet to see a buy sign for Ohio State in recent weeks, so I thought 2.5 there was cheap. And I've been betting against Auburn on the road. I'm going to continue to bet against Auburn on the road. I laid 1 with Arkansas. What's that line doing right now? Still in that same 1 range. Hasn't moved since I bet it. It's a straight fade of Auburn on the road. That's what I've been doing. It's cashed 4 times in 5 tries, and I'll see if it can cash 5 times in 6 tries tonight. That's made money for me. And when you see one of those, in college hoops, it's really easy to overthink yourself. At least for me, it is. I try to lock into teams in specific roles that I'm looking for, or teams that I want to bet against. And right now, Auburn away from home is a team I want to bet against. So, and the fact that they got past Kentucky over the weekend, there's a whole different type of defense that Kentucky plays compared to Arkansas. Arkansas wants to turn you over. Kentucky wants to slow you down in the half court. I think that works in Arkansas's favor. I like the Razorbacks.
Arkansas, and did you take them at plus 1?
-1.
You got them, okay, sorry. Arkansas -1 and Michigan -2.5. Very quickly, Teddy, we have a question from Christofferson Lim. Says, when you bet a basketball or football favorite -2 or -2.5 or below, is it better to just take the money line or always bet the spread? And he thanks you in advance.
So it's funny that it's an excellent question. And we actually, we were talking about this very question. I was at a party on Saturday night with a bunch of guys that I know, and we were, this for whatever reason was the debate. Was, do you lay a point, do you lay 2, or do you lay the money line in those? There's an argument for both sides. There is. I personally tend to lay the points. I hate losing -130 when I could have lost -110. And I hate losing -135 when I could have lost -110. Of course, in the situations where the team wins by 1 or 2 points, you're turning a loser into you're turning a winner on the money line into a loser with the point spreads. But the way that I have historically done it and continue to do it this day is more often get involved with laying the points than with the money line. Now we're talking about 1-point favorites. Sometimes I get involved with the money line, 1.5. At 2.5, I tend to lay the points.
I love it. That is a great answer, and I agree with that. Teddy on Arkansas and Michigan here, and backing the Blazers in the association. Let's stay hot, Teddy.
No, not the Blazers.
I thought you were on
Spurs.
Sorry, Spurs plus 12. Yeah, sorry, did I say Blazer? Thank you. Sorry, Spurs.
I talked myself out of the Blazers.
Yeah, Spurs
so the
plus.
Denver's 8-0 off a loss.
Yeah, my fault. Spurs plus 12. Let's stay hot, Teddy. Let's improve our lives.
Hey, man. Look, yesterday was good. Today's a brand new day. We're 0-0. No, you can't get too high. You can't get too low. You just plug away. And at the end of life, you say, look how much money I made.
I love it.
Good stuff, Jimmy.
I love it. We will have Teddy again tomorrow morning, Monday through Friday. You can catch him here at Betting with the Bag. Follow him on Twitter at Teddy_Covers. Thank you so much, Teddy. We go right from Teddy to Maxwell Smart off a giant day himself. 8 wins, 2 losses, up 5.86 units. Our Maxie was crushing it. Rafa, my man, can we roll the intro?
It wasn't until 2018 that the diamond in the rough went from hooligan to king of the world.
The guy couldn't play for shit, dog. He was awful. But can he cap? Guess he can.
Max, my man, how are you doing on this Tuesday morning?
Jim, I ate a lot of chicken tenders with honey, I ate a lot of cookies, and a lot of donuts. So I bet you can decipher how I'm doing today.
I think that you're doing very well. Some of your plays were, too easy. Your breakdown of Grambling State, I should have jumped on immediately. Seeing the Taint play of the day on Lafayette full game and your play of the day on Lafayette first half, and I took them both money line when I bet them. Feels very good. It feels very, very good coming off a day like this, and I want more, and I want more. And I can understand after a giant day like you had that you have to take what the league gives you. And we don't have a ton of plays for you so far, and I get it. I completely get it. We've had people talking about this Kent State spot already. Why don't you start by letting us know why you're on the Kent State over 134.5, and then we'll start breaking down the rest of the games on the card.
Yeah, I think that when you look at Kent State, they really were able to get away from what works for them and what's been successful for them at home in the game versus Akron. I think coming off a very emotional game, I think that Antonio Williams and Anthony Roberts are going to be able to have better shooting performances. And I think that when you look at this Kent State team, they're going to benefit from playing in a faster tempo against Ball State. Ball State has the athleticism and the youth in the guard positions to get sped up. This team plays very different tempos when they're on the road compared to at home. And my numbers like this up until 140. So at 134.5 was a play that I definitely had no problem making.
Here we go. Max getting his start with Kent State, Ball State. This 134.5 is now up to 136. You need to follow this man on Twitter to be ahead of these market moves. Rafa, my man, can we please put up Max's overall record, because it keeps climbing and climbing. Max is on a heater right now. Here is his overall record. He passed the 20-unit spot on plays given out on this show, and he picked up a winner with his best bet as well. Okay, let's keep rolling along here. We've got Max rolling. Next up, Max has made Monmouth a play. Monmouth opens up as a -1 road favorite, now -1.5 at Pinnacle. A pick 'em at Bookmaker and Bet Online. Monmouth at Fairfield. Why are you backing Monmouth here?
Yeah, this is the Monmouth team that I think that is tops in the Metro Atlantic. I think that when you look at Fairfield, Fairfield definitely has the ability to slow you down. I think that Monmouth can play both styles of basketball. I think that this team has really grown together. And when you look at guys like Ray Salve and Dion Hammond, I think these are the kind of guys that have the experience, have the versatility, and the on-court chemistry to take care of business. When you look at this Monmouth team, they've been taking care of business. They beat up on Ryder. They beat up on Iona. They did lose to St. Peter's, but I think that a lot of teams have gone into St. Peter's and lost. When you look at this Fairfield team, I don't think that when you look at competition that they both played, it doesn't favor them. My numbers like Monmouth as a 3.5-point favorite. So at the number I got, it was a no-brainer on this spot. I think that they win convincingly. And when you look at how this Monmouth team scores the basketball, they're making 10 3-point shots a game. They shoot 40% from the field. They're making a respectable amount of free throws a game, and they get there at a volume rate. So unless Fairfield's able to really stifle them on the offensive glass and really get easy buckets to stay in this, I don't see how the ball distribution of Monmouth doesn't get them this win on its own.
I am tailing. This is one of Matt Randall's plays. It is not the Taint play of the day. We will discuss the Taint play of the day. This is not, but this is also a Matt Randall play and a Max play, and I'm in Monmouth -1 at -105 at 5 dimes. You can get them at a pick'em at -114 or -17, but I'll take the -1 at -105. All right, let's keep going. Matt Randall says, love it when a plan comes together. And Matt Cratchit says, and Monmouth simply is the better team. Let's talk about the next look, Max, and this is one of the, less than 10% of the time, I would say, 5% of the time, 8% of the time, where the market goes against your morning move. So you jump on Texas A&M and the over 124.5. Oh, sorry, Melvin. Max's first play was Kent State over 134.5. It's now up to 136. He likes it up until 140, but you have to make that decision if you want a 1.5 worse line than what Max was on in the morning. That's up to you, and probably not healthy to do over the long term. But he said he likes it up to 140. Let's keep rolling here. Texas A&M and the over. Texas A&M at home against Missouri. They open up as 1-point favorites at Pinnacle. I'll move over to 5 times. Pinnacle's already moved Missouri to 2-point favorites, and this total's gone from 124 down to 123 or 123.5. Max, why are you on Texas A&M? What do you think the market move towards Missouri is for? And what are you doing, or why do you like this over?
I don't know why the market's moving that way. I think that maybe it's a Jeremiah Tillman situation or a Mark Smith situation with them being able to play tonight. I think that when you look at Texas A&M, this is a team that's turned around it in conference. They've really turned up the tempo as far as scoring-wise. Odds makers haven't really adjusted because they keep on putting them in the same point range. I think that this game gets to 127 to 128. There was enough value to make the play on the overnight on the lines this morning. And I think that when you look at this Texas A&M team, you've seen J.J. Chandler be in and out of the lineup. You've seen Wendell Mitchell really try and step back in, but this team is playing good defense. You're getting good performances from Josh Nebo. And once again, in this matchup, what are you going to do against Missouri? You're going to bang them down low. You're going to slow the game down, keep them in the half court, don't allow Drew Smith to get on transition, and the bottom line is, Texas A&M plays a lot more confident at home. I think the game against Tennessee was a really nice spot. A lot of people will be pointing to a letdown situation. I disagree. My numbers have Texas A&M as a 2.5-point favorite on their home floor. I took them at what I perceive to be value. I would continue to advocate that there is value that continues to exist on Texas A&M. And as far as the over, I had enough point value to make it an official play.
I love it. There we have it. And the one thing that when you're a player who makes a lot of action, and we work with lots of them, you have to take what the league gives you. And Max locks in 4 plays on this card. There's no reason to push it. Let's see while we break down some more games on this card if Max adds any. We know a play of the day is coming, but there's no reason to push it. You have to take what the league gives you, and you're coming off a spectacular night. So I love it. I absolutely love it. There's Big Ragu in the house. He's on the flight from Las Vegas back to Florida. Streaming sucks. I guess reading chat comments only. Post plays, please, family. Love you, Big Ragu. And there's Viper NB who kept me off that total in the Magic game. Thank you very much, Viper NB. Drinks on me when we hang out next. Okay, let's move on to the taint play of the day. Max, let's talk about this taint play of the day. Northern Illinois plus 6.5. Let's break down what you think of the taint action here at Toledo. Toledo opening up as 5.5-point favorites. Pinnacle has them as 6. They're 6.5 everywhere else. This total's gone from 134.5 down to 132.5. What do you think of Northern Illinois tonight?
Yeah, this is a spot from a total perspective. Missed the best of the line already. This is a spot where I believe if Northern Illinois is going to be able to continue this pathetic excuse of a losing streak that Toledo's on, they're going to have to grind it out and keep this a low-scoring game and keep this under 130. Well, luckily enough for Northern Illinois, they've done a great job of that. Actually, all conference season, 5 out of 6 games, 6 out of 7 games so far have stayed under the number by more than 7 points. So I'll be looking to sell some points on the total. And as far as the side, definitely looking at Northern Illinois. The fact is Toledo's 1-8 ATS at home. They haven't been able to cover this type of number in this point range with any kind of success. And I think when you look at Northern Illinois, they have a formula that keeps on giving them success on the road. It's similar to Bowling Green. When you have a guy that can score 20 points a game or more, and he commands a lot of the attention from the defense, it opens up lanes and opportunities for guys like Darius Bean and Lacey James. I think that when you have Lacey James, you have a guy inside that can get you second chance opportunities and get you buckets when you need one. And I think that with Darius Bean, you got a guy that can get to the free throw line, can make his free throws, and has some decent perimeter skills. So just by the numbers and by what is going on with both these teams from what I've watched, Northern Illinois is the play. Northern Illinois first half's a play. And as far as the under, I'm not going to make an official play on the under. I do suggest getting on the under, and I do suggest selling a couple points and getting yourself a couple bucks less of juice that you're paying. So Northern Illinois first half and full game for the show, Jim.
Okay, here we go. Northern Illinois first half and full game. I love it. First half, we can give you plus 3.5. Let's get that juice down. We can't. Plus 3.5 at minus 110. And so let me do this here. Northern Illinois first half plus 3.5 minus 110. And Northern Illinois full game plus 6.5 at minus 105, and Northern Illinois full game is the taint play of the day, and I will be tailing both first half and full game. Let's get it. Okay, questions coming in and big games on the docket. Our guy Peter Lucas, wondering what you think about Maryland and Rutgers here tonight. By the way, taint play of the day going for 7 straight wins. Let's go. Maryland, Rutgers, Max. Let's take a look at this spot here. 9th ranked Maryland. And some of you know that Max got Flash and I on Maryland futures in the beginning of the year. Plus 3,300, 33 to 1 on Maryland. Maryland minus 4-point favorites here, Max. Let me get the spreads and totals up here. Spreads and totals. Also, if you like the content that you're seeing, please hit the link at the bottom of the screen. www.sbrvideo.com/thebag means a lot to me. Okay, here we go. Maryland, Rutgers. Maryland 4-point home favorites. Oh shit, that's first half. My fault. They're much bigger favorites than that. Of course. Sorry. Maryland, here we go. My apologies. Maryland 7.5-point home favorites, and this total opened up at 131. You can still get it there, or 130.5, Max. Maryland, Rutgers.
Yeah, I'm going against the grain on this one. I'm going to be taking the home favorite if I make a play. I'm not making one for the show, but I would be leaning towards Maryland. Yes, we have enjoyed what Rutgers has done. Rutgers done a great job so far developing as a team, but now you're going up against a Maryland team that's playing like a top 10 team. Jalen Smith, what has he done? He has evolved as a player. He's developed a 3-point shot, and that 3-point shot has been dropping, sort of like Luka Garza for Iowa a couple days ago with his 3-point shot. I think that this is going to play a key difference because you bring out Miles Johnson out onto the perimeter, opening up a lot of driving lanes. And let's be frank, Jalen Smith can pass the basketball, and Daryl Morcell, he's going to probably be the guy that receives some of those passes along with Anthony Cowan. Anthony Cowan, point guard versus Geo Baker, maybe a little undersized versus Geo, but I think that in a one-on-one competition, especially in the team environment on the court tonight, I think that Maryland's taking care of business. I look for Maryland to get their type of scoring game, and this game gets above the number, but no play for the show right now.
No play for the show right now. Let's talk about a couple cappers who are backing Xavier on the road. One, Rod Zawacki, his 10-star play of the day, backing Xavier. Matt Cratcha wondering if Xavier is the spot to pull the trigger on. DePaul 1-point favorites right now. This total opened up at 137. It's up to 139.5 at Pinnacle, 138 everywhere else. Very interesting. 138.5 at some other books. Max, what do you think of these guys backing Xavier here?
Yeah, I think that you're getting DePaul in a good situation. I think you're getting Xavier at a good number. You're getting DePaul starting to reel and show the fact that it just isn't as top of the tier in the Big East as some of us thought earlier in the season. And in basically a coin toss, one bucket game, I would be looking at Xavier also.
All right, we have someone giving you guys the green light. Also, Ulysses Hayes is on Xavier. Let's look at a couple other big spots. We got Mississippi State at 15th ranked Kentucky. Kentucky opening up at minus 5.5-point favorites. Now 6.5. This total stuck at 139.5, Max. Mississippi State at Kentucky.
Yeah, this is a spot where I don't have any kind of edge on the side. I would have been leaning towards the over, but I'm just not confident enough to make the play. This easily can stay under 135 or it can go over 145. So no play and no significant edge to discuss.
Teddy Covers is fading Auburn tonight. I know you know this team inside and out. I also watched their game on Saturday. I loved it. Auburn, Arkansas. Arkansas, 1 point favorite here. Do you agree with Teddy? Fade Auburn on the road.
Just based off my model, I have Arkansas winning this game by over 5 points. So, yeah, I would be looking towards Arkansas. I think that with the style of defense that they play, I think that definitely gives them an advantage over sometimes some bad decision-making by Javon McCormick and Samir Dowdy with the ball. I think that with Auburn, you got to worry about how is Isaac Okoro going to play? He's been a little inconsistent so far last couple games. I think that his perimeter defense is very important versus Arkansas, who is going to be able to try and shut you down from the three-point line and really try and force you to score inside. This is a really tough defense in Arkansas, and I want no part of this game from a side perspective.
All right, there we have it. Duke, 7th-ranked Duke at Boston College. Duke, 15-point road favorites. 15 point. There are 14.5s on the board as well. This total's gone up from 145 to 146. What do you think of this spot, Duke, Boston College?
Yeah, I don't really know where the line's going on this. I would have this game at about 136. So I would be leaning towards the under. Not a spot that I'm comfortable making official for the show, just because Duke coming off such a very dominant second half for Syracuse in the Carrier Dome. It's like, how do you carry over that momentum? Is this team mentally strong enough? And there's no way for me to answer that. There's no way for me to be able to determine that by watching them. So I had Duke winning this game by 20 plus points, but I'm not going to be making a play official for the show either way.
Teddy on Michigan. Michigan opening up at -3. Now we have 2.5s across the board against Ohio State. This total at 136.5 dropped all the way down to 132.5 at BetOnline, 133.5 at 5 Dimes and Pinnacle. What do you think of Ohio State, Michigan?
Simply nothing from a side perspective. I would have taken the total at 136, missed it, sort of let it fly by, and then just didn't make a move. So lean towards the under, but not at the number that it's at right now.
Ulysses Hayes is on Virginia Tech money line this evening. Virginia Tech at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech opening up as 2.5 point favorites. It's all the way down to 1 at Pinnacle, 1.5 everywhere else. Stuck total at 130. What do you think of Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech?
Yeah, I don't really think I have a good edge on the side. I think that this is a coin flip game, in my opinion. I think that Georgia Tech being home, having Jose Alvarado healthy and running the point guard allows guys like Michael DeVoe and Bubba Parham play off the ball a lot more. Throw in a really good rim-protecting forward in James Banks. It really forces Virginia Tech to make threes. And like we saw in the North Carolina game, it took them until overtime to start making some of those. And if that's the case tonight, this is going to be a real ugly rock fight type of game with a lot of missed shots and a lot of rebounds. And I think that if you're going to make a play in my estimations, I look towards the under because I had this game lined at 127.5.
All right, just copying, pasting action. Roman Peddle, my guy, thank you for sending in your action. There's Rod Zawacki's action. And we have the King is back. The King is back backing Georgia Tech right now. Copy and paste that. Here we go. Beautiful. Okay. B Smooth says, I need 2 strong plays tonight. There's a lot of strong plays coming in from the chat. You can pick who. My favorite play on the board is the under 6.5 in Columbus, Florida. That's my favorite play in the entire board. That's in NHL. All right, let's keep rolling, Max. J.R. Jimenez came into our chat and said, sharp money came in on Fresno State, but they're terrible. Colorado State should win straight up. No win for the plus 1.5. Fresno State at home is now 1.5 point favorites, and they opened up as 2.5 point dogs. This total's dropped 3 points or even 4 points at some books, 4.5 at some books. Colorado State, Fresno State, Max.
Yeah, this is a spot that I think that Colorado State is just tough to bet against. When you got Isaiah Stevens winning 3 out of 5 games or something like that with game-winning shots, it's like, do you want to bet against a team with that kind of mojo going on right now? You know that's going to carry over. You know they're going to be hyped to get on the floor again. I don't really have a play full game. And as far as the total, I'd be looking towards the over, but nothing strong enough to make official for the show. Like I said, guys, these Tuesday cards have been quite tough outside of MAC ball. and I'm not gonna put you guys in forced plays out that I think that aren't solid as my stomach after I eat 10 chicken tenders.
We love that, Max. We absolutely love that. Absolutely love that. Steve Priest is on Colorado State plus 1.5. MJ, we got Michael Jordan in the house. He says Penn State is on fire. 22nd Penn State, at 16th ranked Michigan State. Michigan State opening up at -8. Now there's 8.5s across the board. Total at 144. What do you think of this spot? Is Michigan State going to cover this big number?
I had them barely covering this big number, so I don't think that I'll be making a play either way. As far as the total, I had it around 142, so not really a significant enough edge at the time to make a play. And I'm just not really interested in this game from a side or total perspective. I don't want to get involved with it. It feels like a spot that Penn State easily can come in and beat Michigan State, but it's just not something I'm confident about. Sorry about that.
No problem. Don't worry. Oklahoma, Texas Tech. There's been a 1.5 move towards Texas Tech at home against Oklahoma. Do you agree with this market move?
I think that Texas Tech has definitely been a lot better at home. It's just a matter of consistency. And I think that against Oklahoma, with their size, it doesn't really suit them to play a slow down style. So you'd want to see them get over 75 points. The question is Texas Tech going to be able to do that? They rely on a lot of Jahamius Ramsey and Terrence Shannon. I think Chris Clark can be a better scorer, but he just hasn't turned out to be so far this season. It's a spot where it's just a stay away from me. I'd be looking towards the under if anything, but yeah, nothing strong enough to really suggest anyone jump on.
Your Wolfpack are 10-point favorites against Air Force, Nevada at home. Air Force, Nevada total opening up at 155, now to 153.5 at Pinnacle. What do you think of Nevada's 10-point favorites?
It pretty much comes down to a couple things. We know that Jazz Johnson missed last game. I think that with him in the lineup, you have just a quartet of guys that can score the basketball. And with Jalen Harris playing he's averaging close to 25 points a game in conference season. It's actually incredible. He's just an all-around juggernaut for this Nevada team. If he can get off, then they can win and cover this game at home. The issue for me, is what are we going to get from Air Force and their three-point game? We've seen what happened when they win. They shoot 47%. We know what happens when they lose. They shoot 32%. That's a big difference, and it's hard for me to get on Air Force even at this double-digit number because Nevada's just been excellent at defending the three. This is a team that can regularly hold you to under 30%, and I think that that's going to be the difference in this game. I think Nevada takes care of business first half. I don't know about full game, but once again, I hate to be repetitive, but this is just not a spot where I feel comfortable enough giving out for the show.
Alabama opens as 6-point favorites, goes down to 5-point favorites. That's at Pinnacle with a total of 146.5. Tennessee at Alabama. You close to making a move on this?
No, I think that this is a dangerous spot for Alabama. I think that when Tennessee's coming off that embarrassing loss against Texas A&M, it does provide an opportunity for them to come together and surprise another team. I think that happens often in conference season. I think when you look at Alabama, it's just going to be key for them being able to get their tempo. If they can get up and down the floor with John Petty Jr. and Kira Lewis, I think that not having Herb Jones in the lineup and maybe not having just Jashawn Davis doesn't hinder them as much. But if they get into a game where they have to slow it down and Yves Pons and John Fulkerson are being able to back to the basket, score the ball, well, that's going to be problems for Alabama. So the faster they can go, the better for them, and the better for them and the people that bet them on the spread.
Max, you've read some of these teams so well that we haven't talked about. One's Buffalo. You've hammered them as dogs. Now they're road favorites. They opened up at -4. They're now at -3 at Pinnacle, 3.5. Everywhere else except Bovada is still hanging the 4. And this total's gone from 140.5 to 142. Buffalo, Eastern Michigan.
Yeah, this is a spot where I like Buffalo. I like Buffalo a lot in this spot. I think that the way that they've played the last couple weeks have definitely opened my eyes to the development and the depth of this roster. I've come in and praised Javon Graves. I praised Antoine Johnson. I think that's going to be really about the young guys, Jonathan Williams and Ronald Segou stepping up tonight. I think that this is where they have matchup advantages. Eastern Michigan is going to be able to rebound the basketball. They're going to be able to force turnovers. They're going to trap you and try and steal the basketball from you. Well, Buffalo has good ball handlers. Buffalo has good ball movement. They spread the floor very well. I look for them to take care of business. I don't look for them to take Eastern Michigan lightly tonight. I think that they win this game by 7 to 8 points. I like them at 3.5. And as far as the total, I look towards the under. I look towards selling points once again. These are two teams that regularly are playing some of these high numbers, high over-unders, and they're going under by 6.5. 5.5 points. That's where I see value at most tonight, but I will make Buffalo minus 3.5 full game an official show pick.
Ooh, we get a late show pick here. I can give you -3 at -112 or 3.5 at 105.
No, I'll take the 3 at minus 112.
Ooh, all right. Buffalo. A lot of guys in the chat leaning in that direction as well. Buffalo -3 at -112. Buffalo -3 at -112. We've almost capped every game on this card. Central Michigan opening up as 1-point favorites against Bowling Green. They're now 2.5 at Pinnacle, 2 everywhere else. Very high total at 157.5 or 158 max. Bowling Green, Central Michigan.
Yeah, I think that people are forgetting how good Bowling Green is when they're healthy, and I believe that they're healthy right now. I believe that when you have Justin Turner and Dylan Fry in the lineup, you can do a lot of things offensively, whether it be on the road or whether it be at home. What has Bowling Green done? They've been more than admirable on the road. This is a team that makes their free throws. This is a team that can play good defense on the three-point line. And you know what? A team that scores 75 points can match up with Central Michigan. I don't think that Central Michigan I think Central Michigan is overvalued. I think Bowling Green is undervalued. I think Bowling Green shuts these guys down, holds them under 75, and they win the game outright. Central Michigan has changed their style of play. We're not seeing a lot of these high-scoring games, aside from that Western Michigan game, which would give you a recency bias. But I think that you're going up against the second-best team in the MAC tonight, and I think that Bowling Green is taking care of business. So give me Bowling Green.
Do you want the points or money line?
Yeah, I'll take the points.
All right, let's get Bowling Green. Some late action from Max. Late action. Bowling Green plus 2.5 at -108. Bowling Green. Here we go. Bowling Green plus 2.5 at -108. Bowling Green -2.5. And that leaves us with just, 2 more games on the card. Very quickly, we got to get to the play of the day. Massachusetts big dog at Rhode Island. Rhode Island been feeding us. Rhode Island opening up at 16.5-point favorites, now 15 or 15.5. What do you think of this spot? UMass up against Rhode Island.
Yeah, plain and simply, I like the under in this game. It's not going to be a bet, but I think that Rhode Island, if they don't cover this big number or they cover this big number, they're going to hold UMass down. I think that they see the size and ability of Trey Mitchell coming. This is the most dominant big man in the A10. It's going to be up to old man Cyril Langevin to take care of business. And these Rhode Island Rams, they are not going to have a letdown spot where they outright lose a game. I don't know if they win a game by 15 or 16 points. But the under, definitely at this number, versus the opponent and the situation, I like that.
All right, I like it. Final game on the card, Max. Boise State at Wyoming. Wyoming opening up as 10-point dogs. They're still there at Bovada, 9.5 everywhere else.
As far as Boise State, I think that it's pretty much Boise State or pass for me in this situation. When I look at Boise State, this is a team that is dominant offensively. They can score 80 points a game. They've had a little trouble on the road covering spreads, but I do think in this situation versus Wyoming, they're going to be able to handle their business. I'm going to wait and see if the number goes down another half point or a full point, seeing that it's already gone down. I got nothing but time, and we got about 9.5 hours till the game starts.
I like it, Max. And that leads us to our play of the day, Max. What is today's play of the day?
Yeah, so we touched on this game earlier, and I played coin. I didn't talk about it. Colorado State first half. This is a team that I think that is running high, has good momentum, has good on-court chemistry, getting great performances from players that have developed, like Isaiah Stevens. Doesn't need a game winner to get us home this ticket, but the numbers like Colorado State. By my estimations and by my numbers, Colorado State has an 8-point advantage over Fresno State in the first half in conference basketball. So let's go Colorado State. Let's get a frickin' first half winner, and let's hopefully keep this shit going.
All right, Max, you have some options here on your play of the day on Colorado State first half. Do you want a money line that is plus 106? Or do you want a point spread? That's at Pinnacle. That's the best look. That's at Pinnacle. Or do you want a Colorado State first half plus a half at minus 110? So a 16-cent difference.
No, I'll take the money line plus 106.
And you will get that. There we go. There we go. Play of the day is in Colorado State plus first half. Colorado State first half plus 106. And I will tail the play of the day. There we go. Coming off an easy 3-0 day in college basketball, tailing Max and tailing Taint, and there we have it. Max is in. Play of the day, Colorado State first half plus 106. Bowling Green plus 2.5 minus 108. Buffalo minus 3 at minus 112. Northern Illinois full game plus 6.5 minus 105. Northern Illinois first half plus 3.5 minus 110. Kent State over 134.5 minus 105. Monmouth plus 1 at minus 110. And Texas A&M minus 1 at minus 109 and over 124.5 at minus 111. I've tailed 4 plays. Monmouth minus 1 at minus 105. Northern Illinois first half and full game, and then Colorado State first half. Let's look at what the other cappers are on. Steve Priest in NHL is on Florida Columbus under 6.5. He's on the Oilers plus 115. He's on the Blazers plus 4.5. Northern Illinois plus 6.5. Penn State plus 8.5. Colorado State plus 1.5. Harden points over. That's 38.5 at my book. And Lillard points over. That's 32.5. Juice to the over. Minus 145 to the over. Mark Unkefer play of the day. Buffalo Bulls minus 3.5. And he started out his plays today with the winner yesterday. Rod Zawacki, 10-star play, Xavier plus 1. Then he's on Northern Illinois plus 6, Mississippi State plus 6, Penn State plus 8.5, Bama minus 5, Colorado State plus 1, Michigan minus 2.5. And his 3-team money line parlay, Xavier, Colorado State, and Monmouth at plus 615. Roman Peddle, Colorado Avalanche puck line, Washington Capitals puck line, St. Louis Blues puck line, Calgary Flames puck line. And in college basketball, he's on Buffalo minus 3.5, Kent State minus 4, Colorado State plus 1, and Boise State minus 10. All right. Then Teddy, Michigan minus 2.5 and Arkansas minus 1. And he's on the Spurs plus 12. AM plus money, barbecue sauce titty play today, France, Liga. He's on Lille versus Rennes, draw at plus 230. Draw at plus 230. He's also on both teams to score at minus 106 and Monaco money line at minus 118. Alex Ramirez, Spidey, play of the day, minus 125 with the New York Islanders. The Taint play of the day, Northern Illinois plus 6.5. Matt Randall's also on Monmouth plus 1, Xavier plus 1, and Buffalo Eastern Michigan under 141. Lamont Williams parlay, Milwaukee full game under 244.5 and Blazers over 224.5. That's his parlay today. I have looks in NBA that I haven't bet yet. I got to go bet. Spurs first half plus 7 and full game plus 12. And then I'm on the Eric Gordon over 19.5 points at minus 120. And I've made 8 plays in NHL, and I'm very, very excited about tonight's action. Sabres plus 159. Knights first period plus 134. Devils plus 118. Islanders minus 1 at plus 141. Capitals minus 1.5 at plus 111. Under 6.5 in Florida, Columbus. That's my favorite play on the card. Under 6 at minus 110 in Anaheim, Ottawa. And then I'm finally on the Flames minus 1.5 at plus 145. We have no show without these great cappers in the chat. Paulo Marquez, Steve Priest, Matt Randall, Barry Cockner, Ski Prophet, Ulysses Hayes, Mr. Gogster, Jonah, Alex Ramirez, 420 Fuego. All you guys, thank you for the energy you put in the show. We have nothing without you. Prime Time, DJS, Drexley, Ulysses Hayes, Big Ragu, Rod Zawacki, Ray Kimbrell, Max, could you roll us into the future with a Leche, my friend. And great job. Follow this man on Twitter. He has a new Twitter account. Follow him on Twitter at CBMS420. At CBMS420. Max, thank you for sharing all your hard work. Thank you to our guests, Parlay Poppy, Teddy Covers, and Maxwell Smart. Maxwell, can you Leche us into the future?
Yeah, absolutely. This is dedicated to my friend, my compadre, Freddie Fortune. Leche, Evo's Bookmaker!